Hello and welcome to the Calmcast, a time to feel calm and think clearly. I'm Claire Downham, the Queen of Calm, a transformational life coach. I was a burnt out head teacher who finally made the journey to calm after years of trying, and I want to prevent you from having to do the same. The Calmcast is a series of short explorations, gently guiding you back to your natural state, which is calm and clarity. Just listen like you would listen to music, with an open mind and curiosity. There's nothing else to do. Now let's relax into today's episode. So today I am considering what fears are holding you back. And this came about because I went for a walk the other day and I became aware of my old thinking about cows. So, which may sound quite strange. So a few years ago, I got chased across a field by some cows. So I was innocently walking, minding my own business, across a normal path. So the path is called the Carvely Millennium Way, and it is actually a public path that people are allowed to walk across. But the clever farmer had decided to put his babies, the calves, and the mothers, and a bull in a field together. Well, I was fairly convinced it was a bull. It looked not like the other cows at all. Anyway, when I first walked into the field, I was a little bit put off because normally the mothers and babies kind of move away from you, and there was one stood really near the gate and she wasn't moving anywhere with her baby. She was not bothered about me at all. So I started walking down the field, luckily close to the wall, and after a very short time I became aware that a lot of very loud mooing had started and the cows were coming towards me at pace. They didn't sound very happy. I don't know what angry mooing sounds like as opposed to normal mooing, but I definitely was not happy. I was not happy about them coming, and I don't think they were happy with me being there. So, and understandably, because of course they had their babies with them, and why would they want me there? So, luckily, very quickly, I realised that it probably wasn't a good idea for me to stay in the field. And I managed to climb over the wall into the next field, which fortunately was full of sheep. So that was good. I was in the field of sheep. So as soon as I got over the wall, the cows kind of stopped pursuing me. But unfortunately, in order to get back onto the path, I had to just cross over the bottom end of the field I had been in where the cows were to get back to the kissing gate, to get back onto the path, onto the Carvely Millennium Way. So I got to as far down the field that I was in as possible, and I climbed back over the wall and headed off across a very, very muddy patch of ground. And I was thinking, if I get stuck here, I'm going to get trampled, understandably. But the cows spotted me. They spotted my manoeuvre, they realised what I was up to, and they started moving towards me again. Now, fortunately, it was only a few metres I had to travel to get to the gate, and I got through the gate. And as I headed up the hill, I had only got like a few metres up the hill, and I turned around and every one of those cows was crowded round the gate that I had just gone through. So now when I go for a walk, I am very aware that my mind likes to focus on where are the cows. So there's one path that I go on, and I will avoid the field if the cows are in it. I'm not so bad if I've got Bruce with me, but if I'm walking on my own, I don't tend to go in fields of cows. I just tend to find a different route round. So it is having a little bit of an impact on my life, but I guess what's useful is I kind of know it's not useful. I kind of know that it's my thinking about cows. Most of the time, cows are not bothered. I don't have a dog, so I don't even have that. I know cows can be quite bothered by dogs, but I don't even have a dog, so I don't even have that aspect to consider. But I do have some thinking about cows, particularly when I'm on my own. And what this made me think about is, where else in life do we have fears? What fears are holding us back? Have you thought about that? You know, there's all sorts of things like doing a live video. Hear so many business owners say, I couldn't possibly do that. I can't do a live video. And I used to think the same about me, and now I do it every day. So it's not that we can't do the thing, it's that somewhere along the line, we've just learnt something that then comes up when we're about to do the thing. So, like, when I'm about to go on a walk or I'm about to walk across a field, I am checking to see if the cows are there. Now, it's not really hindering my life too much staying away from cows, and probably it's quite sensible to not go around cows too much, but it's not stopping me living my life too much, but there are lots of things that are stopping us living the life that we would like to live. And the way to notice, well, the first way to notice is what are you putting off? What are you, are you doing things like never getting your videos out there because you're doing them again and again and again and again, trying to make them perfect because you're fearful about what other people are going to think about you? That's a huge one. Where is your fear of what other people are going to think about you stopping you from doing things? Now, that fear is just like my cow issue. It is just something that's been learned, probably when you were younger, maybe when you were older. My cow thing. The cow thing had been there before, though, but we won't go into that. I did have an issue with cows even before I was chased across a field by them. But let's say, for example, it's about you not doing something in your business, putting yourself out there, sharing what your wonderful, thoughts on things and your useful, helpful stuff. You're not doing videos, or you're not posting, or whatever it is that you would love to be doing in life. You're not asking out the person who you absolutely love, adore, you want to go out with. You're not asking them out. You're not taking a risk in some way that isn't really a risk, because nothing could really happen to you, but something that looks like it's risky. But thinking about that one of not, being concerned about what other people think about us is huge in the way it holds us back. And that will have been learned. An example of how that could be learned is that, when you're a kid, you get up in class, you make a bit of a mess of something that you're delivering, like a poem or something, and the whole class laughs at you, or the teacher says, oh, that's not very good, sit down, or says something unkind. And then your system kind of learns that with the same energy, and this is what's really interesting, with the same level of importance, I suppose, and the same energy, as we learn really helpful safety stuff like flames burn you, don't walk out in front of a bus, that's going to hurt. There's some really practical things that we're learning as we're going through life, but the trouble is we learn these self-limiting things at the same time, and then we go through life believing them, and over time they become really, really embedded, either because we stand up and speak and we're looking at that person over there who is definitely looking at us as if we're not doing a good job, so we read into that as we believe, confirmation bias. If we believe it, we see it. But also because sometimes we just make our world smaller. What fears are holding you back and making you have a smaller life than the one you could have? Because that's huge in terms of us fulfilling, not what we're meant to do, but just fulfilling us, fulfilling our true potential, putting ourselves out there, enjoying life as much as we could do. Fear really, really can stop us from doing that. Now, marvellously, you've got a very clever system to let you know when you've got fearful thinking, because that's what it is. That's what fear is. It's really understanding that fear is not there. It's not something real. It's just that in that moment you have fearful thinking. If there's real danger, like when I had to get away from those cows, my body was over that wall and there was not a thought involved. It didn't feel like that was me doing it. That was my body going, there's some cows coming. They don't look very friendly. I'm going over the wall. It was only when I got to the other side of the wall that I started to feel fearful, because then my mind went into, oh my God, I'm on my own. There's cows. They want me. And, then I then felt terrible because I was thinking about what could have happened. Generally, that's when we feel fearful, when our body just gets us out of the way. But on a day-to-day basis, you've got this amazing, clever, wonderful alarm system. And the alarm system is your feeling state. And your feeling state is just letting you know about your state of mind. Where you are emotionally is your warning system. That's your lighthouse. It's your dashboard, whatever you want to call it, your alarm. It's letting you know about your state of mind. Now, we're very fortunate as human beings to have this system. The problem is that we listen to it rather than observe it. Once your system is saying, bringing about that fearful feeling, that's letting you know you have fearful thinking. It's not letting you know anything about the situation. Generally speaking, if there's something really that is mortally, likely to cause us a problem, we'll shift. Our body will shift itself. It's not much thinking involved in that. If you feel like you're stuck or held back or overwhelmed by the things that you wish you could be doing, then just be aware that that's your thinking, not the thing you're thinking about. And it's just really helpful to see that, because it allows you to just pause, take a breath, give yourself a minute, give yourself an opportunity for that thinking to pass, and then see that actually you can do the thing. Your thinking knows nothing about what you're capable of at all. And just knowing that can be really, really helpful. So just be aware of that. That's all any of this is. It's about building your awareness and noticing of these things. Lots of love. Thank you so much for listening. There's nothing to do now but bring some awareness to how this is working out in your life. Listen regularly to experience longer and longer periods of calm. This has been the Calmcast with Claire Downham, Queen of Calm. Take care and keep listening.